Are you ready to embark on a transformative journey? Hi, I am Sharon Kumara, host of Awakened Soul. By tuning into Awakened Soul Radio, you will be inspired to shed the illusions that bind you, connect more deeply with your inner wisdom, and step into a liberating life of freedom, clarity, and purpose. Each episode, I share stories and lessons learned that help cultivate greater compassion, patience, and understanding, qualities to embody in everyday life. I invite you to join in as we expand our awareness, exploring diverse topics, and gain access to practical tools, guided exercises, and expert advice to help overcome fears and break the chains that bind us. Join us on Awakened Soul. Your journey to freedom and true self begins here. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awakened Soul Radio on Transformation Talk Radio, where we break through the illusion and break the chains and realize our true selves. So I am here with Robyn Hyatt, my new friend well, it's been a little while, but we have so much in common. She has communication with galactic beings, and she's written some amazing books. Hello, Robyn. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. This is very special. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. This is second show on Transformation Talk Radio, Awaken Soul. And yeah, I'm really excited about this whole journey. And I'm so glad, hopefully, we'll be able to do this many times
Good.
because there's
Yeah,
so much to share, right?
there is. There is.
Yeah.
This
First off, I
is
want to show I do have I have both books. Okay. This one blew my mind because there were so many channel beings within this book that I recognized,
mhm.
being one of those people, kooky people who connect with star beings as well. And then
Yeah,
and then you came out with this one, and I haven't gotten that far in it, but it's still really wow. Okay, so I can't wait to talk about the
good.
journey for this one and all of it.
Okay.
Exactly. So please share a little bit about how you came to where you are with your books and your channeling, maybe a little bit about your channeling abilities and what was your inspiration.
Well, my very beginning, before channeling, I helped on cold cases. I've been psychic since my 20s. I was raised in a very controlled religion, so I really downplayed any intuitiveness. I just thought it was more spiritual things were happening to me with angels and things like that. So through time, I evolved and started helping on cold cases. I had a vivid dream of a local cold case, went to the police about it, and then I come to find out I was working with a girl that knew a detective that was working on this cold case. So long story short, I got involved. It seems like it was more of a serial kind of situation, and so I helped on that cold case, and then my cold cases just evolved from there. I haven't done extreme amount of cold cases, but I have done a fair amount where I just felt like whatever I have, that is something I can give to society. That is, if someone comes to me, I have to help them. So then, during a cold case just several years ago, a white Sasquatch. I had a apparition of this white, huge Sasquatch, and it started giving me messages. And so these messages I started documenting and writing down, and it was just they were beautiful messages of humanity and the evolution of the earth and who we are and who they are. And then I thought, I have to share this, I have to give this away. So that's when I started my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel used to be called Bigfoot Whispers Hub, and now it's Robyn Hyatt, the Blue Star, because now I've evolved. It seems like that was my segue, was that white Sasquatch. And
Mhm.
now we are going more into the galactic, more in what's above us, more into more sophistication of knowledge, and more beings, actually. And so that's where I am now. Channeling came later when I started my channel, and I wanted to explore. So it's just like people that have talents and abilities. You want to explore your talents and abilities. You want to hone into your talents and abilities, and you want to perfect them. And how you perfect them is using them. And so that's what I did. And so then It was a little bit harder. I had extreme headaches from channeling. And then the more I did it and evolved in my channeling and my life, I was able to do it more easy. So the book that you held up here is like 400 pages of channeling species. And so we have over 40 species in here. And so I work all day and then I would come home and start channeling. And then I have a twin soul that I found through my channel. And then he evolved with me and I would record everything I say, send it to him. He'd type it up and put it in the book. So
Wow.
it was teamwork. I wasn't alone in
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, lots of teamwork, right? All
Yes,
around
it
you,
takes teamwork. Yes.
for sure. So one quick question, being a channeler myself, when you said you were getting headaches, do you think that's because of the intensity of the energy that was coming through? Do you know why you were getting headaches
I
at
think I
all?
was getting headaches because I wasn't elevated enough and I wasn't matching their energy.
Hmm.
And it was a frontal lobe headache. I mean, it was like a migraine, and I've never gotten headaches before until I started channeling. And then I just popped out of that. Somehow I
Yeah.
elevated myself enough where I don't have the headaches. And actually, the psychics that around where I live, they said you can channel more than one person at a time, and I said yes. And because a lot of times channeling, it makes you tired. It takes a lot of your energy out, and so I went past that also that realm also that I was able to not be tired and to I actually get energized. I actually like to
Me
channel
too.
because it makes
Mhm.
me feel good inside. I don't It gives me something that I go, okay, I'm kind of feeling low. Let's channel. And it just lifts my spirits too.
I agree with that. When you're
Mhm.
channeling higher beings, then and you're aligned
Yes,
with them as much as you can possibly be, it lifts you up because you're
correct.
like it's
Yeah.
emerging, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so with your second book, now the first one is called The Benevolent, where
Mhm.
right, Robyn, you want to just briefly share a little bit about that, and then I really want to talk about this one too, for sure. The second one.
Well, I've always wanted because I have over 400 channeling sessions on my YouTube channel, and then I have like 1,000 on my Patreon. And I thought this would be great to be able to write a book of all these things I've channeled already. And so I was talking to my twin, and he goes, "Well, why don't we just start new? Let's just start new." And so that's where this came about. And it was interesting too because I wanted a book that had visualization because I'm a very visual person. So like this is the ant um
Hmm.
Badasas race that helped with the Hopis when the evolution of Earth happened over and over again. So I have art. I'm able to draw and paint and have art ability. And so I wanted to actually draw them. So not only did I channel them, then I would draw them. And a lot of times I draw them in one night. And so here I come home from work, channel, draw, channel, draw. And I think this took a year. We think we almost a year. We were working really hard, and he was working really hard on it too. So,
Yeah.
um, I wanted to, when you have this talent, just like you want to know everything. I want to know everything. I want to know every
Right.
species. I want to go up into the skies. I want to know everything. Take me away. And
Mhm.
so that's what this basically did. And I learned about the blue star and the Blue Star Council, and I'm tied to the Blue Star Council. So I kind of found who I am and who my twin is to me. And so a lot of these benevolents are on the Blue Star Council of 12, and then there's extras in there also. Um, it was interesting because they came to me, and like the guy that designs ships, he came to me, wanted to talk about the ships and how he designed ships, and he said a lot of the ships that he designs, they have pores on the outside, and that's how they fly. Is the pores absorb some sort of something from the environment, and so he was just kind of wanting to talk about. It was like he was very proud of what he did and what he developed, and he wanted to talk about it. So I just let go and we put that together. This book's a little bit different. I wanted to talk more about the power of the benevolent. I wanted to talk about their lives on their planets because some of them didn't have the best situations. And how did they come to know the Galactic? How did they come to know the Blue Star? And how did they align with them? And that's what I wanted to know. Um, Half of the book is more species. The other half, which surprised me as I was channeling that came through, um, was people from the Bible. So, like Joseph or Jesus's daughter Sarah came through. I do channel Sananda. He was very powerful. He wanted to give specific messages in this book, and he broke it apart. Each message is broken apart and aligned. Um, and I really wanted. I did a channeling session of Cleopatra, and I really wanted to bring her forth because I feel our world, we're always going, and we're in it right now again. Here we are in a situation where we got good versus evil, and we need to start pushing the agenda forward of the good. And that you have somehow miraculously someone steps forward to help push the agenda forward. And we're behind that person, supporting them and helping whatever we can to push the agenda forward. So I believe Akhenaten was someone that tried to change society, push the good agenda forward. Several major leaders, and most of them lose their lives. Major leaders are here to push the agenda forward. And so I really believe Cleopatra, in a certain way, had something to push the agenda forward of aligning humanity, put it that way.
Right. Yeah. It's really I just realized as you were talking, and I've read your book and some of your second, and I know that you are part of you've been working with the Blue Star Council.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just realized this in my NDE, Christ took me through a blue star.
Really? Well,
Ooh,
and that's the
I'm gonna
Hopi,
cry.
the Hopi, very
Wow.
big on the blue star. They
Okay.
knew when they see the blue star again, that's going to be the last days.
That is crazy. Yeah, he took me through the cosmos and we entered a blue star, and that's where I was in the water on the where I. Well, I'm starting to stutter because I just realized that and I got goosebumps. Okay. Um,
That's fantastic.
I didn't put that together until you just mentioned it just now.
And you're very aqua, you mermaids and all that.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
totally. Um, so, okay, before we move forward, I need to
Okay.
ask you this. Who is this?
Oh,
I want to know who that is, and I
I
want to
know.
find
I
it.
want to date him too. So, my okay. So on this book, I was very specific to my twin. I wanted color pictures. So there's color pictures in here. He has an AI program to create the pictures. So I let him go with that. Um, I don't know if that's him. I don't know.
Okay.
He put that in there. I don't know who that is. But he's a very handsome man, and
Yeah.
the green eyes is kind of on the same line as Alon, the
That's who I thought
commander.
it was, Alon with
Yeah, of the
the
human. This is how I painted Alon, but this is an
right.
older Alon. So this is probably a much younger Alon, a bit darker hair. Yeah, very
But we all
handsome.
look young in the higher frequencies, right? Don't we all look
Oh
like that?
yeah, oh
Look
yeah.
perfect and in the higher frequency.
Well, we all looked perfect when we were 20 also, so
Is
you
it?
know.
Okay. But yeah, I had to ask who is that?
Yeah, yeah, that was yeah. Well, if you're gonna buy the book, you can also take these pictures out and you can put them on your wall. Um,
Right?
frame them. Well, I kind of wanted that. But on the other side is Crow Chief, and I don't know if you
Hmm.
want to have Crow Chief
Yes.
on the back of your wall. He's pretty important.
Oh, yes. I was actually say Crow Chief come through. Yes, of
No,
course. Yeah, he's
that's so funny you said that.
Crow Chief, of course. Crow Chief is beautiful too. But
Yes.
yeah. So yeah,
So
how
some, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, maybe you could touch a little bit on because you talk about how humanity began,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Okay, with them a little bit, or in your book, and our lost history. Maybe if you could touch on that a little bit. Don't give too much away because.
No, that's fine. I do believe, and some of this might be pre-Adam and Eve, that there was as the world was being developed, there's always the Dark Lords, and they're watching, and they actually try to overtake planets. They don't make their own planets, they overtake planets and then do their own thing. Um, I think they really were really paying attention to this Earth being built. This is the heart of God. This is Mother Gaia. This is his heartbeat, her heartbeat.
Mhm.
Um, and nothing would they like more than to destroy this because it would hurt God. Um, and so through the evolution of the world, we've always fought to keep this planet sacred and holy, and to keep it the vibration high and to keep the light here. Even if you don't believe in El or God, um, believe in the light. The light cancels out darkness. And so I don't want to say too much because it does talk about some of that in here. The wars that we had on this earth and how we had to push the agenda forward, and how the top warriors, like the commander of the Pleiadian race, they come down as um, like a like one of the main warriors to push the good agenda forward, and then they lose their life and they go back. Akhenaten came down to push the agenda forward. I don't know if people really understand the importance of Akhenaten and
Mhm.
the time frame of Akhenaten and how he had to go against everything and
Yeah.
move his people out of. I do believe they had like child sacrifices, things like that. I think he wanted to stop all that and focus on one God. And I think, when they talk about, is it autumn, the sun,
Mm.
um, that how if you are a species and you don't know everything and you're limited in your knowledge, the sun is everything to people back then. The sun created life, it has energy, and so of course they would worship that because without the sun nothing would evolve in our planetary system. So I think I got off track on that one, but
Yeah, that's right.
um
I don't know if you noticed, but I mentioned Akhenaten in my book as well. And
yes.
when I was waking up, that his story came to me very strongly too. Yeah, and I felt a deep connection with him. For some
Hmm.
reason, he just came through to me during my awakening.
Yeah, and I think people that are into what we do
Mm.
really focus on him because he's a really strong presence and he's a warrior.
Yeah.
And he actually gave up his life at the end to save his family, I do
Mm.
believe. Um, and then his dynasty was destroyed, and then his name was pillaged. So I
Right.
don't believe anything that's really written of him, you know.
Yeah. It happens that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Also, too, there's something very interesting that came out in this book I wanted to touch base on for
Yes.
people. I got something, the Ark of the Covenant, and everybody wants to know where the Ark of the Covenant is. Well, it's very interesting. I channel Mount Shasta. I'm very much interested in Mount Shasta.
Wow.
And I was raised in California, and we went on a boating trip there, and I disappeared for a few hours. There's a story about that. and I was 5. And they looked for me, and there's 4 families. We were all boating together, and I went to the bathroom, and then I was taken. And I know it long story, but we'll touch on that some other time. But so Mount Shasta is very important to me, and so somehow I'm allowed into Mount Shasta, and so they go into the Ark of the Covenant, and that there is more than one Ark of the Covenant, which is something very interesting they draw on, and they break that down in this book. And it was actually Zephyr, the commander of the Pleiadian race. The Pleiadian race is the main component inside of Shasta, and he let me know that in one of my past lives, I worked in Shasta, Mount Shasta. There's a community there, and there's actually the Tree of Life is being held for safe haven there. And then there's an Ark of the Covenant in there, but there's like 4 Ark of the Covenants spread across the lands, and they
Mm,
all hold something different. So it's very interesting read on that, and that was something new to me. So,
sure. Yeah, we've been taught there's only one.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and they're
So do
go ahead.
you, okay, so you hear about Lemurians in Mount Shasta. Are you saying these Pleiadians are the Lemurians, the original Lemurians?
No, there's several species in Mount
Oh,
Shasta,
okay.
but the prominent race is in the control board is the Palladians of Mount Shasta,
I
and they
see.
all work together.
Hmm.
So, and it's so funny because I can see my room. It's like a Flintstone room. It's a stone room. I go, I guess stone room. Thanks. But he said I had lived there and I worked there. That's why I have such a longing for that. When I go there, I feel like I'm at home.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, what what were some of the messages that you were getting from the beings that you were talking to for this book about our future, our progress,
Well,
where we're
that's
at?
what this book is very point blank. Um, each species has their take on the human race, and their observance of where we as humans are now and where we need to evolve to.
Mhm.
Um, they are very kind to us because they live in intelligence. They don't have emotion. We have both. And so the hardest thing that we have is to master self. We have to master ourself. We have to master our emotion and our intelligence. And I think the hardest thing in this life is mastering our emotions. And you got triggers, you got sadness, you have depression. You people don't feel good, and when you don't feel good and you're in pain, some people have functions of like lupuses and stuff like that. It's no fault of their own, but to master emotion, it seems to be something that is one of the hardest things. They say, so they look at us as amazing because here we are trying to master this life in both components.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a very difficult realm.
Mm-hmm,
We're not
mm-hmm,
used to, we're not used to, we are light beings. We are from the
mm-hmm,
stars. We are star beings. And so
mm-hmm.
we made that agreement to come down into the trenches of this planet, which is a beautiful, beautiful planet, but it's yeah, it's in a slow,
Yeah.
dense vibration, and so it's difficult down here. But I see it as this is kind of how I see it. It's like when we take on a really difficult job
Mm-hmm,
and we yeah,
mm-hmm,
and we're like, oh gosh, this is so difficult. What was I thinking
mm-hmm.
while we're doing that job or college or whatever it is? But then when we're finished, we're like, wow, I'm
And we
so
learned some,
happy.
and we
Hmm.
learned something from it, and you made friends from it. I mean, yes, I mean, I understand that. I work in the medical field. I work with surgeons. I work with all sorts of doctors and surgeons, and each one has their own personality. And so, um, I'm just easygoing. I just want to do my job. I want to go home afterwards, and then
And
I want to
channel
do
star
do my
beams.
and then I want to do fun time. So, but my days don't always work out beautifully. And so a lot of times I think as a light being, I think when you become into your ascension part, when people um either verbally attack you or something and you're going, whoa, where'd that come from? And it shocks you. I mean, it totally shocks me when someone says something or challenges me or something like that. It kind of shocks me, like, wow, because I'm so into my light being, my star seeds, intelligence. And that's where I think this book challenges people to start thinking and thinking of before you speak, think of your life. Um, and everybody has their own challenges, but you somehow have to figure out how to work it out. And we have to be kind to each other. And we, as you are seeing in the lands of the sand, I call it, um, that is a very scary area for me. And it's such darkness has really worked on controlling that area for a very long time. And I really do feel that some of the people that are fighting supposedly for good so they don't become abolished, I just really feel we're in a huge biblical time. We're in a
Right.
huge evolution. Um, and so sometimes I wonder when we pray so hard for safety and love and mankind to survive and also another thing for species, they don't a lot of the species are shocked that we kill each other. We kill our own species. They're shocked at that because they will fight other species, but they don't kill their own in
Hmm.
the benevolent. And so that's kind of a shocking thing that since Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, when the first blood hit the earth, I think it's shocking for other species. And I think the scientists that come down want to understand that mindset because it's such a foreign thing to them.
Yeah. That's foreign to most of us here. But
Yes, it is.
that's
I
interesting though that you said that some of those species that you talk to would kill others and is that I know that the
well,
Federation um they do what they have to do to protect to protect this part of the
mhm,
galaxy or whatever part of the galaxy, we're
yeah,
hopefully, and if, do they talk about the Federation and us being part of that galactic community at all? But I know
hmm
that there's wars been fought in this galaxy for thousands, if not millions of years, so that
hmm
happens. Um,
yes. Always have good versus evil, always.
yeah, that's
And
the
evil pushes you to do that. I mean, you
right,
can't just say, "You guys stop it." Let's just stop. They don't
right.
do that. They're going to come until you force them to stop, and they don't care. Um, yes, it talks about that. Actually, the Lyran race. It talks about the Lyran race, how they almost became extinct.
Mm,
That the Dark Lords and several reptilians and Draco, they all decided that they wanted the Lyran planet system of where Mafeko, who's in my book, Master Mafeko, was residing. And they were down to like 1,000 left. And
wow.
then the Galactic came in once they heard about it, found about it, and came in and just obliterated them. So when I say killing the other species, they have to.
Right.
I mean, it's just,
I understand what you
yeah,
meant or what you said, or yeah, with that the intention there.
yeah.
Um, and when and the way I look at it from my point of view is that on this planet we're so programmed to believe that we are the kind of like almost like the center of the universe, right?
hmm
And
hmm
that all there is just humanity on this planet, and so we see each other as enemies. And there's so many wars on this planet.
hmm
We've been we are. brainwashed into believing that we have an enemy in another country or wherever
Mhm.
it is that we're fighting these wars because
Mhm.
we're, I it's it's how do I put it? But I think you understand what I'm saying. It's the same thing out there, as above, so below, I guess you could say, in
Mhm.
on the other planets or around the galaxy, that that same thing is happening like it is here.
Yeah.
So we just have to get out of the trenches and out of our own lower chakras and see that, we have to be a peace-faring people in order to be part of the galactic community,
Well, and I think that's why a lot of us are here, us light seeds and light beings,
right?
that we are here to shine our light. We are here to give word. We're here to prophesy. And we are here to raise people up. And we need to focus our light in all these destructive areas. Um, God is great, and we need to bring his light down and somehow let his will be done there. And if we can stop these wars, if we can bring them down, if we can save children, we have so many children, even in the United States, that are coming missing. If we can start working on bringing light, and that's why you and I and several others are here, and we are a community, and it's our responsibility to bring the light down.
Hmm.
And so, and we need to speak about it and bring it forth. And I think our responsibility too is to um, help people understand how great they are and that they have that light in them and they are source. And
Right.
we all are the same. We look different, we are different, we have different personalities, we have different lives, but we're the same in the
Mhm.
light. So, and
I love
that's,
that. And that's what Christ taught us. That's what all the masters taught us, is that
mhm,
we have that light within us. We are Christed already. We
yes,
just, yeah, came here to have a different experience, and that the duality of it, dark and light.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so it's really fascinating. This is such an amazing time to be alive.
Hmm.
And when you wake up to that memory of it, it it's really crazy. It's like, yes, so
Yes,
happy I'm here because we see
yes.
so much going on, like with your books, with these contacts, and the veil is thinning.
Hmm.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is.
totally. So I just wanted, Jessica, if anyone has any questions or anything like that, we'd be happy to take them, right, Robin?
Sure. Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
be
as
happy.
we communicate. So you talk about L. Can you describe who and what L is? I've heard of Elohim, and I know that
Mhm.
archangels have EL at the end of their
On the
name,
last, uh-huh. Yeah.
most of them. And so yes, I would love to hear that.
So, see, I was raised in, as I said, a controlled religion. I was Mormon. I was raised Mormon. And so, why I say that is because one God. As I was doing and channeling these books, and I learned that over every universe there is a master commander, master controller. Oh, God, and whatever you call him. I do believe his name is El, because that's a spiritual, righteous name. God on earth has been mocked. People say his name in vain all the time. I do believe Sananda's name, Jesus Christ down here, has been mocked. So when we talk about Sananda and El, that is their spiritual righteous name that is not been mocked. It's very sacred. Um, and I do believe that there are several gods over different universes, but they all, it's hard to explain, they all come together as one God. So there really is one God, but there is several gods, but they work in uniform. And they all, it seems like when I was channeling them, they all have strengths. Our God is a God of love. It seems like that is his source, that is his energy. And not every species has that in them. He, when we were designed, the human race, he wanted to put his source in each of us. That's why we are so special. That's why the opposition tries so hard to take us away from that light source and snuff it out. Um, because that is like one for their team. You know, it's anything I feel the darkness does it not only for their own power, but to hurt God. But L is my feeling, and you may want to talk about this too, is his main source is the energy. And love is an energy. Even when you say love, um, it changes you. I don't know if you feel that, but when I
Oh yeah.
say love,
Mhm.
um, and I think that's something we're falling short in humanity is we're not telling each other we love each other enough because everybody's going, oh, he wants to date me now because he says he loves me. Well, no, maybe he loves you as his best friend. He just felt gratitude, and that gratitude is love. And so I think sometimes we deny ourselves love and we deny ourselves giving freely the 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 energy of love. That makes sense.
Hmm. Yes, it does make sense to me. And what I've learned in my walk is that love is the glue that keeps us together,
Mhm.
like the song, right?
Mhm. And
And yeah, so that
and hope.
is right, and
Yep.
light is the carrier.
Mhm.
So yeah, you speak of okay, you speak of God in terms of masculine. Is that just how you are describing L? Is that, or is, I
That
mean,
might that might come from my makeup from my past
okay, okay,
religion
yeah.
is, but no, I think he's duality.
Mhm.
Because in I don't you probably haven't read Fejba yet. I just channeled the
Not
book Fejba, and we're
not yet,
doing
no. Okay.
Bakray, which is Alan.
And
Um,
she's in here, right? She's in,
she's in both
yeah.
books. She's the twin of Alan, who is
Okay.
the commander of the human race, and that's a new one for people. We're a race. We're a species, just like everybody else out there. We're a species, and so we do have someone that's a hierarchy over us that commands, and he's watching over us. He's been here since we've been here, with all with his group, his people, and to teach us and inspire us and to direct us because we're children. We don't know. We're veiled, so we need a commander who's directed by God. He's under the commission of Sananda and God and El. Um, and in Fejba, the birthing of the twins was very interesting channeling that I saw like a womb, and it was almost like a spherical um, wormhole, kind of, where I saw the spirits being born through them. And
Mm.
when twins come down, they come down as one, and then they divide into two cells. And so that is from God. And so for that to be attained, you have to have duality, the feminine and the masculine. And then when the spirit comes down and they divide, they go into the feminine and the masculine.
Right. Yeah. I saw something like that in visions after I read Shirley MacLaine's book many 20
Mm-hmm.
something years ago, The Camino Trail.
Hmm.
That blew my mind. That book blew my mind. I hadn't read her first book, but she she was talking about how she had a dark night of the soul and like a Kundalini awakening, basically, when
Mm-hmm.
she was on the Camino Trail, and she remembered moving from the Lemurian civilization or embodiment to Atlantean, and how we went from and the way she described it made sense, kind of like what you were talking about, is moving from one spark into two. She said that we were uh, both, both masculine and feminine within one body, and then
Mm-hmm.
moving, and then we use crystal technology to split into masculine and feminine, and how painful it was. She said how painful it was to break down or to be split off like that, a God spark to be split off that way. And I felt like she was telling my story. Sorry. As I was reading that book, it was crazy. It was those memories. It was like I had memories too. So, I mean, I think it's just a different telling of what you're talking about too, a different way of talking about it. And I believe that we have that pain. I guess you could call it longing in that we hold that in our soul. That's why we
Hmm.
want to be one with God, source, all it is, whatever we want to call love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I'm hoping these books will help people understand too, is that men and women on this earth, masculine, feminine, we're here to work together. We're here to walk side by side. We're here to be one together. We're not here to have one dominate and one, Um, it's very important for us to complement each other. We're actually meant to complement each other. God made us different. So when we come together, we can work with every source that we have and become one. Men have something that's very strong and different than women. It's just natural. We don't have the broad shoulders. They do to carry. And I'm sorry, but there's women that are leaders, but there's men that are really great leaders, and they have something in them that they possess to have that strength. Women can be great leaders too, but um, it's really it's it's really I think we're missing it, but we're really meant to be dual. We're really meant to be together,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing is that in our DNA, what's built into our DNA, maybe it's our programming, I don't know, but it's our history. We are products of our history, is that the male, the masculine part of who we are
Mhm.
is that makes up, or the masculine makes up the protector, the one who
Yes.
goes out and
Alpha. Yeah.
protects alpha protects the community. It's even in the basically in the animal kingdom kind of sort,
Hmm.
that type of thing.
Hmm.
And so protects the community, brings home, the whatever, goes and catches the meat, to
Hmm.
feed
Hmm.
the tribe, the warriors, that type of thing. Doesn't mean females can't be warriors too, but then the female has a different type of role, the feminine of it, the nurturers, keeping the hearth,
Hmm.
taking care of the children, that type of thing. And so it's something that is difficult to get away from because it's so ingrained within us. Does that make sense?
And
Without us
spirit,
being knocked off balance. Hmm.
yeah, and spiritualism. Women have high spiritualism. We're very
Yes,
sensitive
intuitive
to spirit.
abilities. Hmm.
And and men need to come to our council. I mean, men have spiritualism, but they don't have exactly, I mean, I think we can attune to it quickly. And I think men are have those broad shoulders, but we have the counsel.
Right.
Men need to come to us for counsel. And it's this ego that has developed through the years that men want to take care of everything. So you talk to a man and he wants to fix it. He wants to just fix it. I go, no, I'm talking. I want to talk about it. I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen to me.
Listen,
And and we're
it's in
meant.
their DNA.
I know, I know, but they need to soften, I guess, is what I'm trying
So
to.
I guess when you bring a problem to man, it's just they're hardwired that they need to
Yes,
fix it,
yes,
and it's like,
yes,
okay, don't bring me that problem, I guess, unless you
yes,
don't want me to unless you want me to
yeah,
fix it. So
yeah.
that's when we can sit with our council of grandmothers, the grandmother council, because I feel like we're going into those days where we're gonna have the feminine council. I'm sorry, what was there a
There's
question
a
here?
there, yeah. I think there's a couple. I don't want to touch my
Okay.
screen in case I bounce out.
Question. Okay, Sarah, are there women who have more masculine energy or men who have more feminine that would go against the normal?
Yeah, I actually I used to be a hairdresser too, so I worked a lot with the feminine and masculine on both sides. I do feel that sometimes people are born with a little bit different chromosomes. And that's where you were always raised with girls that were tomboys, but then they turned out to be feminine later. And there's very feminine men. Um, I I I don't know the true answer on that, but I do believe something in their chromosomes, DNA makes that happen. And yeah, I do believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still can go ahead.
I was just gonna
That's a touchy subject.
yeah. In this day and age a little bit.
Yeah.
I do believe that we're meant to be balanced within. In
Hmm.
our body, you can't change who you are, whether you were born a man or you were born a woman. You
Hmm.
can't change
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
But um, you can maybe have a more of a feminine way of that would go against masculine energy or feminine energy. It's my belief, and what I worked through was to have the balance, to be running both masculine and feminine in a balanced way.
Hmm.
But if you're still in the female body, you still have the stages that you go through.
Hmm.
For instance, the triple goddess with a woman, and you walk through your life as a woman. Triple goddess, the maiden, mother, crone. And
Hmm.
the same thing with men, where they have stages they go through as well. Uh, um, but I believe that the best way for us to be able to exist with each other is to be balanced, masculine and feminine.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And the
Hopefully,
protocol, yeah, this day and age is changing that balance. And you don't change God's way, but if you, but I think we in society, we just need to actually know that balance, accept that balance. We all need to accept it, and um, and then I think just evolve in. It's a hard subject, so
is that
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You want to get canceled or anything, but I'm just
No,
kidding.
no.
But yeah, I mean, by masculine is logical side of the brain. Feminine would be the intuitive, the
Hmm.
nurturing. The
Hmm.
masculine would be the logical, the warrior, the or the protector. That part of the our brain, or how we're made up. Um, so yeah, it's a conundrum.
Also,
I mean, there's
and
all different,
also, it could be a past life. A past life, you might have been a strong warrior man, a gladiator in past
right?
life, and now you're coming down as a woman. So you may still have those recollections of masculinity, strength, um, maleness, and you might bond better with males, in
Mhm.
that. So I think sometimes too, we're bringing a derivative of our past lives down with us that could also maybe alter it a little bit. But yes,
Yeah.
balance is the key.
I love that because we're getting a little off topic here, but
I know.
we have past lives that aren't healed, and I believe that's why we bring in maybe certain energies because they're not healed. Because I
Mhm.
remember lifetimes as a soldier, man and male and female, and they
Mhm.
weren't healed, and so I've always been a little more warrior type, independent
Mhm.
warrior type, so
Mhm.
I could at least work on healing that soldier part of me, that warrior. Doesn't mean I mean, when you have kids, which I didn't raise kids in this life, but you're a mama bear,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
that's just natural.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a fascinating topic. What do the star beings say about that? Do they talk about that? Finding balance within us?
Um, Not really. I don't think we touched on that subject in the books. I think we talked lightly on some of it, but no, I don't recollect that. I do recollect talking about past lives though, and carrying it forward into this life.
Yeah. So this being right here, I just want to share this
Oh
being
yeah,
right here.
the Cyclops. Yeah.
Cyclops. I was in an out of body experience, Robin, and I was in a market, an outside outdoor market, wherever I was. I don't know what planet where I was. And I was looking at jewelry as usual, like I do at markets, at outdoor markets, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
spirits.
Yeah.
and clothing and stuff. And she said, "Well, there's a mirror over here." And I looked in the mirror. I had one eye right
What?
here in the middle of my forehead. I didn't have two eyes. I had one eye, just like that. Just
Wow.
yeah.
And then I drew there's a picture that I drew on that too. If
Yes.
you read that channeling, they are very strong teachers. They're very well, they're the third eye. They're just the third eye. That's all they are, is one eye, third eye in the center. And they are teachers, and I do believe they're very prophetic. Um, and I'm trying to find it right now. Let's see.
Page 96.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And I want what I was kind of shocked about how I drew it is I drew her with two eyebrows but one eye. So to me that's like the third eye. So she has two eyebrows though.
Yeah.
I went, why did I draw two eyebrows with one eye? And I thought, why not? And this is one of my better channelings, I feel, is her channeling. It's very special, very spiritual. Um, and they kind of talk about their planet system a little bit. And they were a planet that was also saved by the Galactic and in Blue Star.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So we have a couple minutes left. Let's so Robyn, go ahead and share how people can find your book and get a hold of you and
Okay.
yeah, all that
Um,
good stuff.
all the books are on Amazon.com under Robyn Hyatt. I have several books out there. These two are my channeled books. I have one more that's a channeled book. That was my very first one, and I did it all by myself. And it's like 20 pages. So, um, but it talks about more Egyptian channeling. It's my very first channeling, and it's inside the Lemurian crystal. And then I have these two books that are coming out. This Vejba is only on ebook, and then Bikray is we're working on him right now. And these are also channeled books. I have people that get so into these books, they go, "We want more." And you're going to read at the very back of this book, Akhenaten. Actually, you would really enjoy Akhenaten's channeling session in this book. He talks about seers, psychics, oracles, and he talks about us and why
Nice.
we are here and what our responsibility is. And he says, this is our final book. He goes, "This is my final book. These are my final books. These
Oh,
books are here for a reason. Um, they're growing in momentum. But I heard that there will be a day where these books will really come forward, and people will have more of a wanting and understanding. If you read also the reviews, I've really been bugging people to leave a review. Please leave a review. They're so important because the reviews these people are writing about these books are amazing. It's amazing. It seems like it helps people in their lives,
it
and you have to
does.
keep an open mind.
Yes.
And I have Robyn Hyatt, the Blue Star YouTube channel, and I'm trying to do a channeling every Sunday live. And this Sunday, oh, you should come. I invited you, if you have time. I'm
Mhm.
going to do, because I just have a lot of gratitude for people. And I just appreciate people throughout this whole year. I've had so much great support from people, great people in my community. So I'm going to do free readings. So we'll have a live chat, and my twin will monitor the chat. And then I will either, like, I learned that from your show,
Nice.
to I will either do a card or I will intuitively answer your question. And so everybody come on, it's before
Great.
the new year ends. So I'm going to offer free readings this Sunday.
Nice.
Robyn Hyatt, the Blue Star. And then I have a Patreon channel. Um, and that is Robyn Hyatt Oracle. And I actually offer that free, or there is people that subscribe. So I try to make everybody happy in that. So I try to offer things for people that want to view things free, and people that want that I go, my Patreon channel, I do so I can get really out there. I
Hmm.
mean, I go way out there. And so if you like stuff like that, that I just let go and I give it to you. And so people enjoy that.
Great.
then you can get a hold of me through Robyn Hyatt at yahoo.com if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And Robyn will be on my show, New Year's Day show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do want to come. Yeah.
Okay. On my YouTube channel. And please subscribe to Awaken Soul Radio so we can bring lots and lots of amazing guests, which we were going to anyway. So that way you'll get notifications on it. Thank you everyone for being here. And please pick up Robyn's book. And don't forget my book, Awaken Soul. What's the name of the, And we do a lot of we are on similar paths here in some ways, but it's about my relationship with Christ and how I woke up, so to speak. So thank you everyone for being here, and have a wonderful evening and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm Sharon Kumara, and you have been listening to Awaken Soul Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. I invite you to embark on a transformative journey with us. Awaken Soul is a safe, sacred space for exploring the depths of our consciousness. Each episode, you will be inspired to shed the illusions that bind you, connect more deeply with your inner wisdom, and step into a liberating life of freedom, clarity, and purpose. To connect with me, visit kumaraacademy.com.